A cold blue-gray dawn. The hangar at Skyridge Air Force Base hums with the low-frequency echo of turbines, like something in your chest. The metal whale's heart began to beat. Captain Richard Hawthorne raps his knuckles on the side of the ship and says sarcastically, "Let's show our cleaning lady her place." F-15. The sound is given off by dry blows. The spotlights pick out the figure of Maya Brooks. From the semi-darkness, a woman with an aluminum mop at the ready. In 5 minutes the world will forget the word cleaning lady and remember a new name. Valkyrie. Good day. Write in the comments what city or country you are from, support with a like, and subscribe. This story will change your perception of people. 40-year-old Som, Maya Brooks, glides across the concrete floor like a shadow. Step, inhale, swing the mop. Exhale. The smell of old kerosene mixes with chlorine, a pungent reminder of deserted airfields over which she once held a formation of raptors. Over the course of 9 years, she developed her own code of invisibility, shoulders slightly lowered so as not to meet anyone's gaze, eyes on the floor so as not to count the stars on other people's shoulder straps. The tongue is bitten so that the anger does not burst out. The bucket clanks, by pure chance, at the very moment when the radio receiver in the officer's room, someone is laughing at the inclusive reform. Word diversity sways the air like a rusty razor. Maya's gaze momentarily rises. Dark, dry eyes. A desert before a sandstorm. Captain Richard Hawthorne is the golden boy of the third military generation. The uniform fits without a single crease. The boots shine as if they had never been worn. Touched real asphalt. His grin was as sharp as a blade. Lieutenant Dylan Covey is hovering nearby with a smartphone on a selfie stick. Leave is already going on for 1,000 subscribers. The Machiller's Ground Crew Challenge is coming soon. The most ridiculous cleaning lady in the cockpit of a combat strike eagle. A crowd of young pilots gathers like seagulls at a fish warehouse. Coffee, laughter, short jokes. No one sees how in the semi-darkness a woman squeezes. The handle of the mop is so strong that the knuckles turn white. Hawthorne tosses Maya a tattered flight suit and a scuffed helmet. It's meant to be funny, but Covey's camera catches an unexpected shot. She runs her fingers over the helmet as if it were the lid of an old piano and places it on his knee, carefully, like a religious relic. The spotlight jumps to a wide patch of oil on the floor. In this light, Maya zips up the zipper in one smooth motion, automatically pulling it up shoulder straps, checks the oxygen hose carabiner. Hawthorne's throat is dry, his movements are too confident. The F-15's cabin smells of leather seats and ozone from the condensers. The woman sinks into the chair. Her fingers slide across the panel, the switch. Bat on. A short atuts ding, and the dead metal begins to breathe amber lights on the tower. Colonel Alan Torres holds up his binoculars. He's seen thousands of launches, but the rhythm with which the stranger goes through the pre-launch checklist is recognizable. 3 clicks, 2-second pause, the 4th click. A cup of coffee falls at his feet, filling the air with the bitterness of Robusta. Skyridge Control, who's in the cockpit of Igla 07. Raspy static response. Pigeon 07, requesting taxi. Torres gasps. Valkyrie. Sir Maya Brooks. Third-class cleaner. Torres' gaze moves from the strip to the wall of the office. There, under a layer of dust, hangs a faded photo of the Raptor squadron. In the center is young Major Maya Valkyrie Brooks, the first black commander of the elite wing, declared dead 9 years ago. Flashback. Desert. A night the color of hot metal. Flight F-22 under Valkyrie's command finds a caravan with boxes marked American markings. The radio gives the order to stand down, but she comes closer, turns on the camera. The flash of a manpad tears through the darkness. The report the next morning will say Major Brooks abused her authority, lost her vehicle, transmitted information to the enemy. The world pretends that she is dead. In reality, Valkyrie loses her wings, documents, and name. In exchange for silence, she is allowed to live as a cleaning lady. Pratt & Whitney engines roar, the metal vibrating drier than the internal thunder. Hawthorne grabs the radio. "Turn off the engines. Immediately?" "Negative, Captain. The training demonstration continues." The crowd's laughter evaporates as if someone turned off the oxygen. The number of viewers in the online broadcast exceeds 30,000. Release the brakes and the F-15E, like an arrow of dark glass, is tearing along the strip. At the 4th second, brake away. On the 5th, nose up at an angle of 70 degrees. The paneling creaks pitifully, but holds. At the 21-second mark, Pugachev's Cobra. The plane freezes vertically, sags, picks up speed again. Sweat rolls down Hawthorne's face. For the first time he realizes the scale of the disaster for his own ego and career. At an altitude of 3,000 meters, Valkyrie turns on the smoke system. 2 white streams, like chalk on a scoreboard, spell out the word VO. Valkyrie. Kavi's chat explodes. She writes a name in the sky. This is the most beautiful mutiny in the history of the Air Force. Colonel Torres turns on the general base wave. "Attention, Skyridge. You are witnessing the return of Captain Maya Valkyrie Brooks. Write this day down. The old mechanics take off their caps." Someone whispers, "Stronger than the phoenix. This bird doesn't burn. It cuts steel." The riveted metal touches the concrete like a pen touches a sheet of paper. The engines exhale the remaining thrust. The cabin opens. Maya takes off her helmet, her hair shining like copper thread. The silence weighs down like the ocean over a sunken boat. Covey holds the smartphone up to Hawthorne. "Captain, any comments to the audience?" "I didn't know." Maya looks at him, her voice filled with steel and the calm of the desert. "The problem is not that you didn't know who I was. The problem is how you treat those you consider beneath you." Colonel Torres hands over a folder, "Recovery, promotion, squadron of your choice." Maya accepts and returns. From the pocket, a small blue flash drive. Here is the confession of General Sanscom. McGuinness. Offshore accounts, supply routes. I scrubbed for 9 years your toilets and collected the truth. I give it to you together with the sky. Torres takes the carrier like a burning coal. At this moment, a chain reaction begins that can no longer be stopped. 72 hours. Hawthorne family accounts frozen. McGuinness arrested. Senate launches investigation. 1 month. Richard Hawthorne, 15 years in prison for obstruction of justice and racial discrimination. 3 months. Skyridge hangars become Valkyrie Academy, where talent is more important than skin color and last name. In the former squadron headquarters, now the office of the director of the academy, Maya oversees 6 exercises. Teenagers from foster families, veteran mechanics. 1 refugee from Uganda, all learning to keep the sky up. The assistant reports, 50 more applications, ma'am. Maya replies, write everyone down. This is the place for those who knows the price of air without privileges. On the wall is the keel of that very F-15E with the burnt-out call sign. Valkyrie. New cadets sign it, a promise to fly more honestly than the old gods. In the prison dorm, Richard Hawthorne hears the television. CNN report on the first graduating class of Valkyrie Academy. The camera catches his eyes, empty like spent cartridges. In the studio, Maya gives an interview to a journalist. I scrubbed floors for 9 years, but I did it better than anyone else because dignity cannot be stolen. It can only be thrown away voluntarily. Share your opinion in the comments what you thought was important in this video. If you like this story, then like and subscribe to the channel so as not to miss new releases. Have a good mood and see you soon.